All right, good evening. I'm Greg Ansman, joined by Jim Bruchek, Connor Gilliland, Chris Wellett, Todd Perry. Tonight we're going to be talking about our strategic recommendations for AnyRent versus OmniBag. So let's begin. We identified the opportunity by thinking about operating in this fast growing sharing economy, category that has transformed how people think about access and ownership. Just like Airbnb disrupted hotels and Uber transformed transportation, there's an opening for renting everyday items in a similar way. Consumers today, especially millennials and Gen Z, prioritize affordability, sustainability, and certainly convenience. They want to save money, reduce waste, live sustainably, and still access the things they need without the burden of ownership. This is the critical opportunity that frames our two product concepts, which Jim is going to talk about now.
Thanks, Greg. Building on that, let's look at the target markets for these two concepts. AnyRent focuses on urban millennials and Gen Z consumers. These are digitally native, eco-conscious individuals who already embrace the sharing economy in transportation and lodging, and I'm sure you can think of a couple of companies that might do that. OmniBag, on the other hand, appeals to outdoor enthusiasts and adventurers, travelers aged 25 to 45, who need durable and adaptable gear. While both of these segments have potential, millennials and Gen Z represent the largest and fastest growing group, making AnyRent the best opportunity for long-term scalability. Next up, Connor's going to talk to us about OmniBag.
So OmniBag was our first concept. It was born out of this idea that we have a lot of bags that we don't use all the time and they take up a ton of space. And so Jim, who's an avid hunter, talked about how there's a couple of hunting packs that have modular systems that allow him to pack game out as well as like carry his basic essentials into the field. Building off of this idea, which I never heard of as like someone in the outdoor industry, I never heard of this in the hunting world. I immediately believe this would be marketable and applicable to people who wanted outdoor adventure gear. And also maybe people who wanted to do some like fashionable commuting. The idea is simple. Basically, you have a frame backpack and you put on different bags representing different sizes and use different functions. Like you'd have one that would work with skis, one that would work with hiking poles, etc., etc. I showed this concept to one of my friends, Ruben, who lives in town, who likes to go out on weekend adventures and works at a gear shop. He was really drawn to the idea of being able to customize his backpack into any way he wants. And that really stuck with him. I also showed this concept to someone who I thought would be a little bit further from our target market. And that'd be my uncle who lives up in Washington, just outside of the Olympic Mountains. He really liked the idea because it basically allowed him to simplify his life and buy one bag that he would be able to still maintain a lot of adaptability from. While we ran with these ideas and we thought these were great, it eventually led us to what we believe to be our strongest concept, and that is AnyRent, and Chris is going to talk about that next.
Thanks, Connor. Let's move on to AnyRent, our second concept and the one we committed to. I talked to several friends who live in New York City to discover any pain points they had with household projects. All of them had the same issue. There's nowhere to store anything, so they never built out a collection of tools. AnyRent is a peer-to-peer rental platform that lets people rent virtually anything. Tools, sports gear, strollers, humidifiers, air conditioners, you name it. It works just like Uber and Airbnb, but instead of renting cars or homes, people rent their everyday stuff. The benefits are clear. It saves money, reduces waste, and provides convenience for both the renter and the owner. Based on consumer feedback, AnyRent showed a much broader appeal and scalability compared to OmniBag. It benefits both sides. Renters get affordable access to what they need, and owners make money from unused items. For these reasons, our team recommends moving forward with AnyRent. Now let's talk about the positioning statement. For millennials and Gen Z who value affordability, convenience, and sustainability, AnyRent is the peer-to-peer rental app that lets you rent or share anything, anywhere, anytime. It helps save money, reduce waste, and provides instant access to whatever you need. Now I'll pass it over to Todd, who's going to talk about the launch idea.
Thanks, Chris. Now let's discuss launch ideas. Our pricing strategy is simple. The app is free to download, and AnyRent makes money through a 15 to 20% transaction fee on rentals. This keeps things transparent and affordable while also creating an incentive for owners to list their items. For channels and distribution, we will launch on the iOS and Android app stores and will build awareness through social media integration and partnerships with universities and outdoor groups. Another possible customer down here in Colorado Springs that we spoke to was interested in, they were open to the idea of partnering by renting their bikes either midway or halfway through the season with stock that they weren't able to sell. And as you know, mountain biking is huge, not only down here in Colorado Springs, but in the Colorado area. And this is something we'd be interested in, of course, partnering with local businesses, not only the college student or the people, the average customer, but eventually partnering with, say, Home Depot or REI. And to activate the brand, we proposed the Rent Anything Challenge, a viral campaign where people can showcase like the most unusual or useful items they've rented. And we will also create pop-up stations in major cities and partner with influencers to drive engagement. In closing, the opportunity is clear. The target market aligns, and AnyRent provides the strongest concept of global scalability. Our launch plan ensures that AnyRent will stand out as a sustainable, affordable, and exciting solution in the sharing economy. Thank you, and welcome to this world of incredible savings and convenience. What was the time, Jim?